Hi, Stitchers. I'm Laura. I am one of the pattern queens, and I'm here today to share with you my WIP parade. This is going to be a long one. I have around 150 WIPs, and I will probably talk a little bit about each one. So just be prepared. Grab your drink, grab your stitch, sit down, grab a notepad, maybe make some notes, and we'll get started. I'm going to pop my glasses up because they just don't really help during this. I am going to start off with Santa's Village. This is a series of charts, and I have done the first one, all except the little swirl at the bottom. I've converted my colors to colors from Color and Cotton, and I had this huge piece of fabric, so it's what I'm using. That's one. The next one I have is Halloween at Granny's by Carolyn Manning. And I am stitching mine on a green linen from Color and Cotton. It's just a limited edition. And I'm using the DMCs. I love how this is coming out. I just did Manning May. So I worked on one of 4 designs every week and just put some stitches in to see how I would do. Okay, next up is a recent start. This is Lamb Mini Bag by Shepherd's Bush. And I did one of these bags already. So I decided I would start this one. I haven't gotten very far. Okay, my next one is another Carolyn Manning. This one is called Ruby. This is what it looks like. I'm doing the big one. I may eventually do those 4 smaller ones, but I love this one. So pretty. And this one actually set itself up so that I could go all the way around the outside border. So this is how big it will be. And I focus down here in the corner. I am a lower right starter, and I prefer linen over anything else. That's just my jam. And this one, I love this bag. I have this in a Sheba Designs bag. Melissa does great matching on things. I love it. And she's super quick. My next one, I keep pulling all the ones that I have to look up for you. My next one is Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. This is what it will look like. I started this on February 29th for the Long Dog Leap Day Sal, and I've only done a little. And I actually started at the bottom left on this one. That's just how it worked out. And actually, I'll tell you the truth. I had my fabric oriented the wrong way. And so the way to fix it was to make it the left corner. There you go. And I'm using a piece of 36 count Murtaugh by Fabrics by Stephanie. And my floss is from Mrs. Sadis, and I always say the wrong name. So I'm going to pull the tag. There it is. My floss is Oxide, and it's from Mrs. Sadis. They do beautiful, beautiful silks. They feel so nice. I love working with them. So I'm really excited to have that one going. The next one I have is Bluegrass from Ink Circles. Keisha and I started this on Mother's Day. This will be our project that we work on mostly on Mother's Day. We'll also do it on some Stitch With Us videos that we make. And I have a tiny little start. Mine is on a piece of 32 count limited edition fabric from Color and Cotton. And I'm using her floss in the colorway Hellebore. I just love that one. and I put it in a fun bag from BNS, the Black Needle Society. Next up, I started, these are wanting to slide out. I started Welcome Spring from Little House Needleworks. And the way this was a 2015 Nashville Needlework Market release. And the way you got this was by buying the 3 new colors at that point: Shabby Sheep, Sugar Plum, and Prairie Grass. And I have a small start on this. I'm using a 28 count Witchelt fabric in a purple. And I think it's going to work out really pretty. It's been sitting in my stash for way too long. And I just decided this is the year to get it done. It shouldn't take me that much longer. Then my next one is from last year. It's my 2023 temperature sal from Sapphire Mountain. I love this. I have just finished June, and I will be moving on to July this month. And that's a goal for me in June, is to get one whole month filled in. So I will get that. I substituted the border in there for hand-dyed silk from Be Stitch Me, and it's in the colorway Evil Queen. Kind of my jam for colors. So I am a purple girl, and this is on a piece of, picture this, plus linen. I can't tell you what it is right now. When I show it, it's in the information box, the drop down box at the bottom of the video. So, but this is what I'm working on this month for sure. Next up, I have Gratitude, which is a Lizzie Kate boxer. I've started with the big one. It came with some lamb's wool, and I started it and I just hated it. So I found fabric from an old Fabric of the Month club. This is a 32 count apricot. It's getting blown out a little bit, but it'll be really pretty for that. And I already have a little piece of fabric pulled for the second chart in there, the bonus chart, Begin Each Day. And I will be doing it as well. Hopefully I'll get both of those finished this year. They shouldn't take long. They're small charts. So far you're seeing several of my starts for the year. I plan to have 24 starts. My New Year New Start for 2023 was Hive Rules from Primrose Cottage Needleworks, Primrose Cottage Stitches. I love this one, and my family got me the mounting board, and they bought me this fabric, which is 25 count Garden Party from Be Stitch Me. You may well recognize that name. It's what is being used on the chart Don't Feed the Plants. I can't get a hold. There we go. I am over halfway. It's looking really pretty, and I'm going to have a really gorgeous piece of fabric left when I get there to stitch something else fun. I may stitch more of their bee themed charts on it, just because then things would match, and that would be kind of fun. Next up, I have another Carolyn Manning. It is Sea Glass. This is one that I started with Keisha. And, oops, wrong one. Let's go this way. It looks like this. I chose a piece of 32 count water lily linen by Witchelt. And normally I don't have any problems, but this one is exceptionally stiff, and I really didn't make any progress during May on it. So my thought is I'm going to throw it in a laundry bag, throw it in the laundry, run it through, and see how it does. I'm hoping that it will soften it up, but if it messes my stitches up, I'm less than 1,000 stitches in. And I have enough fabric at the other end to be able to pull that out or to be able to start it again in a different spot. Next is my Home Sweet Home from Shepherd's Bush. This was a kit. I love this one. And during the last 24 hours of stitching, posted by Jen Lee, I pulled mine out and I finished up What's in the Hill. I did a little bit on some of the other things if they were close by. But my goal was to get that hill finished, and I did. This is another one of those that I feel like I really could get this done with just a little more time now, because the hill was the thing that took the most time to get in there. Okay, another Carolyn Manning is Thistle. This one I started with my friend Amy, and Keisha started her Halloween at Granny's when we did this. I'm just trying to find it on here. There it is. I have all of these as on my Kindle as pattern keeper charts. You can order these directly from Carolyn Manning and they will come as a PDF, which I love. You can, if you're a paper chart person, you can order most of these on 123 Stitch, and I've seen some in the LNSs lately too. I just think her charts are getting more popular. I have another one I would really, really like to start, but I've decided that I can't have anymore for a while. Then I am working on Rodney from Kathy Barrick. I have Rebecca also. And I have a really pretty piece of fabric from Color and Cotton. This is, let's see if it has a name. It was the August 2020 Fabric Club Special Edition. And it's this pretty orange. It's a soft orange, so everything shows up really nicely on it. I love the little carrot down there. You can see my thread is still hanging because I'm getting his outline in finally. I feel like if I get his outline in, then I can use this during events and just start filling in all of the stitches on him. And I can't wait to get more in. He's such a fun one. This one I have in a bag from my friend Judy. It's Project Bags and More by Judy on Facebook. And that fabric actually we found, and she made bags for us, and we gave her the rest of the fabric, and she was able to make a few extra. My next one is Stitcher's House from Stone Street Stitchworks. I fell in love with this one as soon as I saw it. And this one, I am stitching on a piece of 32 count tutu from Color and Cotton and using the called for colors. I've made some recent progress on it, so I'm pretty happy with that. This one I have in a cute bag from Penny and Tunny, and I don't think I have both bags out. You can go back to our last video, our last floss tube, and I show both of the bags. I fell in love with this print that they had, and I asked if if they would be able to get all of the girls on 2 different bags, and she fussy cut it and was able to make me 2 bags, and I have the whole row of the girls. Okay, this year's New Year New Start is Painted Flowers from Shakespeare's Peddler. And I am doing it as the dark version. You can do it as a light version as well. I don't think she put a picture of that. Oh, yes, she did. There it is as the light version. But I fell in love with this on the dark fabric, and I got a piece of 30, 36 count, 32 count gunmetal. And I have the tiniest little start in here. And I even have left a thread hanging because I was still working. We do, my daughter and I on the Black Needle Society do 20, we do starts every year on New Year's. And we were doing 24 things. We didn't start 24 items. We had 22 new projects in 2022, and now we only start a new project if there's a space for it. Obviously, there's always one for the new year, but it matches the year for us that way too. My next one is Spring Moon from Plum Street Samplers. And May was my Manning May, so I really was not doing much. So here's my start. That's not even hardly worth showing you. It's just so funny. But I will get more in on this and I will be excited to stitch on it. I did Christmas Mini Moon. That was my Christmas Day start. And I finished it up pretty quickly. I really liked it. Another piece I will be focusing on this month is Peacock and Pomegranate from Cottage Garden Samplings. I love that. And I don't have a huge start on this one either, because it was one of those that we did while we were, oh, I guess Keisha and I did this one. And I did the bottom line. I'm using 30 count Morning Fog. And I did go back and put one square down there at the end. But it's 30 count Morning Fog by R&R Reproductions. Love their linens. This one is old, old, old. I live in the Kansas City area, and there used to be a shop called the Old Mill Stitchery up in Liberty, Missouri, and they had they were good friends with Ann and Pat, and they carried lots and lots of R&R fabrics, which was fabulous for me. And then the last one in this group is Life After Death by Long Dog Samplers. I originally bought this as a paper pattern, then found out I could get it as a PDF and put it in Pattern Keeper, and that's what I did. I'm using 36 count Antique Hydrangea from R&R, and I am using a Silks for You floss and silk floss, and I just love working on this. I have made this a goal for the rest of the year. I figured out that if I put in 150 stitches a day, I can have this finished by the end of the year. And I am around 45% right now. So I love this one. I'll have to double check and make sure I don't have any back stitch to go in. That's a tip for you if you're doing one of these on Pattern Keeper. Pattern Keeper does not show you the back stitching in the main body where you're stitching. You have to open up the PDF and look for all of the back stitching and put it in from the PDF copy. That's your tip. My next section will be mostly made up of my small WIPs. I count anything as a small that is under 100 by 100. So first off, I am working on Honey Bunny by the Black Needle. This is a free chart that you can get on the website, theblackneedlesociety.com. In the drop down, there's a section that says freebies and news. And if you click there, you will get this. So I I got most of the way, I got all the way around the rabbit. And I think I'm done with this color. Maybe I have a little more. But I took the floss out of the bag. So I have to figure out what I was using, if I was using what she called for, if we had just substituted. And this piece of fabric is a piece that Katie bought me for my birthday several years ago, and it came out way darker than what she wanted it to. But I think it's perfect for this little bunny. So I will hopefully get that one done. Then I have woolly hair from You and I and Friends. They used to do the Black Sheep Club, and this was one. You can see I've just folded the box down. This one is on a piece of say it's like 18 count natural linen. And I've gotten the outside borders done, or most of the outside border, and started on that bunny. I wanted to make sure I have enough. You have to read very carefully. It tells you that you need to separate the floss in there or you won't have enough for the bunny. The next one that I have is called Underneath the Moon. This one is for Katie. So I have to talk quietly. And it is from Pine Mountain. So it comes like this. And I will end up finishing it off on a cute pillow form. And I've just done this, but this is the song that we used when she was a baby to get her to calm down and happy up. My next one is from the Drawn Thread, and it is the Easter egg sampler. If you haven't done a Drawn Thread chart, they have lots of instructions in them. They are great. They're set up so lovely. They give you examples of the stitches and walk you through them. They are beautiful when they're finished, but they're definitely a lot of work. I am a little over halfway on this one. It's been started for a long, long time. And really, I'm going to be repeating some elements as we get closer to the bottom. I know that at least these two, the white band and this band, repeat. So I will be excited to get back to that. I love how these look when they're finished, because there is just a lot in them. This one I'm just doing on a piece of 32 count linen, white linen, maybe antique white. This next one is from Cross-Eyed Cat, and it's called Texas Wildflowers. This one I just fell in love with it. I haven't looked to see, it says Mini Impressionisms #1. I haven't looked to see if there are any more. I have this just on a piece of, I have a piece of cat fur on there. 28 count white linen. I have a lot of that bottom put in. The blues may be finished because I'm moving into greens. And when I first was learning to make project bags, this is one of the ones that I tried out using some instructions I found online. You can see, I mean, like crazy little lines and things. But I love that fabric. Then I have Glory by Sisters and Best Friends. This is Amy Brucken Designs. Amy is one of the designers on this, and she and her sister used to do these together. I have all 4 seasons. I've finished one of them. I'm stitching these on 40 count linen from Silk Weaver. I found this one and I just loved it. So it'll be really gorgeous. This one is in another one of my Judy's project bags and more. She always has fun designs. Now, I pick a lot of florals and things. Judy likes to do fun animals and things too. You probably won't see those in my stash. My next one is Shepherd's Spring by Shepherd's Bush. This is where you'll see I am a bottom right starter because I started with that bottom band. And I'm using all the kit materials. I always love working on their kits. And I'm a pretty frugal stitcher. I've had one time that I didn't have quite enough floss to finish up. I just contacted them and they sent me another little snippet to get through. Then I have from Chessie and Me Pumpkin Row. I always love Chessie and Me charts because her name is Linda Lautenschlager. So my initials are LL, and if she initials something, it's already in there for me. You know, you have to love that when you find the designer who has the same initials you do. This one is on, I want to say it's mystery linen, just a scrap that was left over in my stash, but I want to say it's a 36 count linen, 36 or 40. Oh, here, tin roof, 35. I lied to you. Unintentionally, of course. Then next up, I have Playing with Jacks from the Cricut collection. I love Cricut collection charts. And this one I am doing on 36 count affogato from Fiber on a Whim. And I gave myself lots of border. I've only done this part. I have found that I am not as much of a Halloween stitcher as I used to be. And so I tend to only pull these out at in October. And that makes it a little harder to get things finished up. I may actually change this one and do the alternate pumpkin in the middle so that I will leave it out for more than just Halloween time when it's finished. The next one is Midnight Dreamer from the Woolly U. Love that cat. I started this a couple years ago. This is on a piece of 40 count. I think it's called Shrinking Violet. That's all I have in. I didn't even make it all the way around. We will get there. And this one is in a fun Love You More sleeve. Um, we found this fabric and fell in love because it matches our cat Bella, Katie's cat. And then we found it the next year in another colorway and we got it again. So it's just one that tickles us because it's Bella walking around. Okay, I have another little stack here in the smalls. The next one that I have is Little Blue Bungalow from Blue Ribbon Designs. I'm going to show you right here. This is just up in the corner where I printed this off. This was a freebie. And I am using a piece of 40 count linen. And I've done, it's from Picture This Plus. I've gotten that much. I did a color conversion and just used what was in my stash. It pretty well matches the colors, but it's just a hodgepodge of different flosses that I had in there. Then I have Hummingbee Heaven from Just Nan. I fell in love with this one as soon as I saw it. I love rabbits. I want them to be more realistic. I've had this for years, you can tell, because the pattern is only $8. And I started at the bottom on this. So I already have the rabbit in. I use some Whisper to do the rabbit's tummy and tail. And then I'm just working my way slowly up this. This called for, I think when I kitted it up, I did it in this shop and I just used what they called for. Here we go. So it is 28 count platinum cashel, which for the size that I needed, I'm going to show you this again because my little tag is kind of fun in there. This is how big the piece is. It costs $4.80. I love to find things like that and just get to see how much things were and how much things have changed as we've gone along. I'm sure it amazes you too. My next one is from Hands On Design. It's called Hop On In. So fun. Excellent service. I started again at the bottom. I've already done that part. I have the tops of the carrots to get in between them. And I'm doing this on, I don't know that I have, maybe I do. Let's see if there's a tag on here. Yes, I'm doing this on 32 count slate from Fabrics by Stephanie. I like that as an alternative to black, and it gives a little more movement. It's great for the chalkboard designs as well. My next one, I've finished half of this, and I think what I've decided is that I will do 2 little pillows from it. So the part that I finished is, of course, the bottom part, all day pumpkin spice every day. And I have enough fabric up here, if I'm just doing a tiny border, to do the top. I'll show you back here. Every day I'm pumpkining with the little girl. That one should not take long. It's not actually started. So I don't know if we count this as a WIP. Maybe because 1/2 is done. Then I told you I like the Cricut collection. This one is called Love and Carrots, and I'm doing Crazy Love. I will eventually do that carrot, but this is Crazy Love. She does have an alternative to turn the L around. Originally I thought I would turn it around, but now I think I'm going to leave it. This is on a piece of 28 count J from Picture This Plus. Look at that. Whew. And I'm using the called for colors. So I'm having a lot of fun with that one. I like charts with hearts and rabbits and deer. Those are kind of my go-to. My next one, I knocked something down there, is pin keep and scissor weight button posies from the Scarlet House. I am doing the big pin keep. This was a birthday start a couple of years ago, and I did not get very far. I'm doing this on a 36 count linen. That looks like Fiber on a Whim. And this one I have in a really cute, um, bag from Cross-Eyed Cat. I want to say that that's the right name. Look at this. Such a fun one. Then I have a series. So my husband spilt on a bunch of my projects, and I rehomed them, but you'll see some evidence of it in this one. I have done the top band. I haven't done the whole thing. I've just removed the thread to be able to do it. But it's buttercups. It's from a series. There are 8 of these. I'm trying to get them all done. That's what I have done. Love that one. I don't think I did. It could be the bottom. I'll have to go back and look. But these got stained by whatever drink he had at the moment, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be cutting off enough that I won't have to worry about it when I get to the end. My next one is called Bunny in a Basket. It's from You and I and Friends. I started several of these one year for Mania. And I got my borders done on that, and I'm working on filling in. I'm going different directions with the overdyed floss, and you can see what kind of difference that makes in the piece. And here's my fun fact for you about You and I and Friends charts. If you look at the edge of the chart, I'll fold this down. If you look at the edge of the chart, both of their names are on there, but whoever's name is first is who designed this particular pattern. So Kiam Slagle designed the bunny in a basket. And this was another one from the Black Sheep Club that I was in. Sorry, trying to get these all to drop down in this bag. I have another one from You and I and Friend. This one's You and I'm Friends. This one is called Bountiful. That great big fat pumpkin. And I am this far on that thing. This needs to be my November project, just a November focus project, and I need to just get it done. I can't wait to have that all done and ready to go. Oh, and any of these You and I and Friends that I have that were Black Sheep Club, they came as a kit. So I have everything that they came in. This one was actually wrapped in this cute piece of fabric, and it is big enough that I am keeping it and I'm going to use it and use it for pillow backing. Turn this into a pillow when I get done. I just thought that would add to my memory of it and would just make it kind of fun. Then I have from Ink Circles All Together Now. I love this. I may go back and see if I can get this as a PDF. I believe she has almost everything on her site available as a PDF. And I started just looking, I started from the bottom. I'm using a piece of Wexford linen 32 count. It's just a solo from Silk Weaver. But I love this color. And I love how the greens are showing up on it. I am not sure if I'm using all the called for, but I'm using something close anyway. And I have all 3 charts in that series. So I'd like to finish them so that I get to have all of them on the wall. Then from Rosie and Me, who is my LNS owner at CC and Company, I have Across the River 2009. So when the old mill stitchery was still in Liberty, CC and Company is out in Blue Springs, which is across the Missouri River. And they did events where you could visit both shops and get things. I worked on this last October and got in quite a bit, mostly on this. And it's just kind of a fun one. I'm loving seeing it come together. Hopefully this year I'll get the rest of the house put in. We'll see how far I get. The thing I forgot to say is that I was planning to pull out projects that I can use as a 25/7 and get them done, move them along and get some things done on them. I think I pulled 6 or 7 from that last group that I had out that I think I can get finished pretty quickly by doing them just a little every day. So in this group, my first one up is Prairie Moon, the red and the black. And this one I had started and I absolutely hated my fabric. It wasn't working. I was using 2 strands of floss to do it. It wasn't coming out pretty. So I bought a new piece of fabric, which is Gold Rush from Bestitch Me. And I got a 36 count. So I'm using 1 strand over 2 threads. I already like, oops, it goes this way. I already like my coverage better. And I'm using 2 colors of Bestitch Me Silk to stitch this as well. I found that while I was there. So that one is a long way off. Then my next one I have is Little House by Little House Needleworks. It's called Spring ABCs. I've already done one of these. I've done summer. And I started this one. I'm doing it on the same 27 count banding. I really like it. This one is in the spring green. And I was going to show you this one I have in another one of the Judy's Project Bags and More. So this is the size. I love the bright sunny colors. And then my next project is Sampler a Bouquet from Jardin Privé. You buy it as 3 separate charts. Ooh, let me turn my brightness down. You buy it as 3 separate charts, but you can put it together and they give you all of the parts to cut out to make it fit. I, of course, started in this corner. And I am this far. What's fun is look at that crazy bug. I believe that I have finished the last chart, chart number 3, and that I am just moving on to chart number 2 at this point. But the fun thing here is that I have this in another Project Bags by Judy, Project Bags and More by Judy. And it's the same pattern, but these are her 2 different sizes. So you can get a full-size bag or you can get a smaller bag. She always chooses fun buttons and things to put on them. She does a lovely job sewing these. You may hear some background noise because dishes are being done. And if they jump out of the drainer, then they'll make that noise. My next project up here, I finished Olga. And so now I have Boris from Plum Street Samplers. And I'm putting him on the same piece of fabric with her. And my fabric, I was trying to see if I still had the tag on it so I'd be able to tell you. Katie probably could tell me right off the top of her head what it is. Oh, 32 count jack-o'-lantern from XJU Designs. So Olga is finished. And Boris will go right in here. This is his little bitty start right here. And he will, of course, be facing away from her. I love these. They're so cute. I would put this one in the 25/7, but I really haven't stitched on him at all. And so I feel like that's not quite realistic. But this is one that I would love to get done and get out to the framer and get it hung up on the wall. Such a cute project. Next, I have Keisha's favorite project. It is Blackberry House by Plum Street Samplers. Love this one. I never remember what this is that I'm stitching on. It's Picture This Plus fabric. When I stitch on this, all of the information is down below in the drop down. But I'm this far. Keisha says the fabric looks like smashed blackberries all over it. And then just to complete the whole experience, I have this in another one of the Project Bags and More by Judy. And it's my purple bag too. The next one is 2023 Collector's Heart from Heart in Hand. And I was so convinced I was going to finish it last year that I already put the date. But even though it has the date on it, these are a yearly, the Collector's Hearts are a yearly series. So I like that year is on there for it. This one needs to go over in my stack of 25/7 projects because there's not really that much more to get done on it. The next one I have is from Chessie and Me, and it's 1890 House Sampler. This one was actually one that was part of a retreat, and I'm working on the house and getting things filled in. There are lots of steps. You really have to read along. I love the sideways bird and the little bitty over one cat. This one probably takes way more patience just because I need to concentrate and make sure I'm getting things in the right place, doing the right stitch. There's just a lot to it. Then I have blackbirds from All Through the Night. I love this one. I value my garden more for being full of blackbirds than cherries. And I found a silk weaver solo and put it on that. So this is what it looks like. And it's fun to stitch on. There's just a lot to get in there. And I believe this is an even weave, which is not my chosen fabric. It's not something I really enjoy. And so I don't always like to pull that one out. It's not as bad on a hoop, but it's just not my jam. So my next project is from Plum Street Samplers, and it's called a primitive mood keep. And there are two parts to it. So one part says today, blessings to thee, and the other says today, a pox upon thee. And I have two pieces of Lakeside Linens linen in days gone by. I've started the blessings, and that's as far as I've ever gotten this. This pattern came out in 2014. I think I bought it when it came out. So I definitely need to get back to it and get going. Next up, I have favorite things from A Needle and Thread. This is such a cute one. Katie did this one. I have this on a pretty piece of black currant wine linen that I got in a special box. It's not linen, it's an even weave. And I think I've just been bogged down because I don't like even weave. But in my hoop, I may do better. We'll see how I do and see if I'm getting rid of that or keeping it. Next up is a start from this year, Nightshade Bird by Plum Street Samplers. I love this. And if you look right here, this is where I've started. I'm stitching this on a piece of Fox and Rabbit 36 count eucalyptus. And that's as far as I've gotten. That's the little tomato though coming together down there. I'm using all of the called for flosses on that. Just changed out the fabric that was called for. The next project I have is from You and I Am Friends, and it's called Primitive Star. This one I'm doing on a piece of natural linen using the called for flosses. Really, it's moving on pretty well, but look, I got this in 1998. So this is one of my oldest projects. I did not start it right away, but it's one of my oldest ones. Then from All Through the Night, I have Use What Talents You Possess. I have done the entire verse in the center. I just chose a piece of linen that I liked, purple, of course. And I've started that border around it, but I have to do both sides of the birds to get that finished. So that will still take a while. This one I have in a Love You More book sleeve, and it has to be one that I chose because it's all purple. That's how I can always tell. If it's all purple, it was probably me. Next up is Rose's Village from Madame Chantilly. I started this one this year with my friend Eunice, and I started over here at the right side. Let's think about this. And I'm doing mine on this pretty piece of linen. That's as far as I got. We started these in February and I just didn't get very far along with it, but I love it. It's all DMC. It's fun to work on. I will enjoy getting back to that. Then I have Winter Rose Manor from Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And it looks like this. Now we all fell in love with that pink house, and then we got the conch, the conch. from Weeks Dye Works, and most of us got some that ended up looking more orange. So I am going to be looking for just the right color in my stash to change it out to, but that's where I got. I started part of that border. You do use two different colors of floss in here and alternate. But that one is fun. I enjoy working on it. It needs to go in a different project bag. It's just in one of the zipper bags, vinyl bags. There. Then I have a big one. This one is A Year at Hawk Run Hollow. I have finished January through June. So I need to start July. I did start just the tiniest bit on July. But this is where it is so far. Um, This one calls for all MPI silks. And then they did a conversion to DMC, which is what I used. Well, these were supposed to be red, and they came out, and the girl's dress was supposed to be red, and they came out orange. So before I did February, I added 3 reds in here as well. And I am mixing and matching and using all of those colors in here where I like them. Like all of those flowers would have been orange on June if I hadn't done it. So, and this is my tiny start on July. That's when I would like to get back to and get these things finished. I may figure out a plan next year and maybe work on them for a couple of months each and see if I can finish it out by the end of the year. I've had this hanging around for a long time. Keisha and I started this. She started the Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. Last year, I started Bristol Grace by Dutch Treat Designs. I really like this. I'm going to make a few changes to it. I'm going to personalize it a little bit for Katie. And I have this. I was trying to see if it said, oh, there. The name is in here. It is on Hand-Dyed Linen by Manny de Donna. It doesn't give a color name, but it is so pretty, and I just really feel like it fits. You can see it's got those colors in there. I've changed mine to be these beautiful colors. They kind of go with what they had listed. I'm using Island Blue and Lagoon from Gentle Arts. But those are my 2 colors. So I will just be mixing and matching, getting those in there where the mood strikes me. It called for it to be done in one color, and I just switched it out some. This project bag is Pinky Promises. It's beautiful. So it looks like this on the front, has these butterflies inside, and then on the back, she does machine embroidery. That one's gorgeous. Love it. And then I have Autumn Town by Autumn Lane Stitchery, which Keisha and I started. I fought with the color for the path down here. It was not looking good on here. This is a 32 count linen from Color and Cotton, and I'm using 2 strands over 2, and that's as far as I got. We'll see. I will get back to that and get more in on it, but for now, that's where I am. So now I have pulled out my stack of projects that are part of my 24 for 24. So some of these were started in 2022 and just haven't been completed, and others I've started since then on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. The one I'm going to show you is In All Things Be Exceedingly Diligent. If you open up the cover, you get the whole thing. I am stitching this on a piece of 38 count Delarna in the color Golden Harvest from Silk Weaver. And this is as much as I have done. The great big floss right across the middle. There we go. I love stitching all the alphabets. So this one will be fun for me. And I, of course, had it upside down. I also have the other two patterns that have come up with this, which are And Be Kind to One Another. And then the latest one I saw is Be a Friend. Excuse me. And I don't know if they'll come out with another one this year, but oh my goodness, this is so fun. I love having these that go together. This is another beautiful Judy bag. Then I have This Is the Day by Plum Street Samplers. I started this with my friend Judy at Camp Black Needle last year. And we have a couple of other friends who have joined us, Jessica and Felicity, who are also stitching this one. That's how far I am. Not a huge start, but oh, I love this one. Oh, and I'm stitching this on 32 count vanilla bean. And because I started this at camp, my friend Megan brought Katie and I each bags that she had made. So this is mine, all the pretty purple stuff. And inside, look at the bright green that matches the pop of color there. This one we are working on once a month to try and make some progress on it. Next, I have ABC Phrases. I'm sure I am mispronouncing that by Collection Tralala. I have this on a piece of linen from my stash. I'm thinking this is probably from Fiber on a Whim. Oh, yes, here it is. It's the Presenting Lorelei Gilmore, and it is a 28 count. I only have this much done. I didn't even get all the way around. Then I have Singing Sparrow. I started this one at a retreat, and I'm doing it on a piece of 32 count Glacier by Forbidden Fiber. Look how pretty that fabric is. I think it's going to go just perfectly with this design, and I'm using all the called for colors. So that one is ready. I have this in a pretty bag from That's So Calico. This one was one that she did called Sampler Stitcher. I thought that was fun. And I started that in September. So Sampler September, there you go. Another one that I started is Hands on Design 17. It's part of the block party. And this is what this whole outside looks like. So you can see the hands are right here. I haven't made it real far, but I did manage to get all of the words in for that. I'm doing this on a piece of 28 count silk weaver. It's a solo. And I have this in a bag that I sewed. Just fun colors for St. Patrick's Day. Next, I have Cuckoo Bird sampler from Heart in Hand. Such a fun one, but don't laugh too hard. This one is on, where's my tag? 32 count, 36 count color and cotton in the colorway Salt Rock. And that's what I got done in my little half-hour start. So not a big start, but I definitely want to do it. Oh my gosh, look at this. I think I need the hummingbird sampler. Is that just cute? I have this in another bag sewn by me. I love this fabric. Such a cool, cool fabric. And I've bought it in other colorways because I liked it so much. Then I have Coca Pan. from Twisted Oaks Designs. I started this on this pretty piece of 28 count pink Parisian stripe from Fabric Flare. And then the floss got separated from this. And I know that I was using a one of the DMC Coloris flosses, and I did find this one, which is close, but it doesn't have any of the darker spots in it. So I may have to go back out and look some more and see if I can find something else that's closer before I work more on it. This one, I feel like it looks like it had some purple in it. Yeah, I got a couple of skeins of this, and they're not what I was using before. I would love to find that, but it has gone on walkabout. So for now, this will sit and wait patiently until I take it out and see. My LNS has all of these colors available. So I should be able to get it and see if I can match it up. Then I have Cats in the Rain by Madame Chantilly. I had all sorts of plans to convert everything under the sun, and it was making me nuts. I think I'm just going to go back to the stitching it the way that it's designed and go with it that way. I'm doing this on 28 count feldspar from Picture This Plus. It's going to be really cool and rainy looking. I enjoy that very much. I'm just using, so I'll just use all the rest of the colors as charted. Then I have The River, which is a chart that came out in one of the Black Needle Society boxes. It was for a November box when we were doing resolution stitching. It says the river that flows in you also flows in me. And Forbidden Fiber Co. dyed this beautiful floss called River of Life. And I am stitching on just a green fabric from my stash. Look how pretty that looks. That's the bottom. That's the bottom border. It is really fun to sit down and stitch on this. I think I'm just doing like a 32 count. So it's comfort stitching. The fabric's beautiful. This is more of that floss altogether. So yummy. Then I have Present Blessings by Hands On Design. This one I started in 2022 and I wasn't working on it, and I decided it's because I hated the fabric that I had. So I pulled out a new piece. Look how far this is. This is a Witchelt fabric, I can tell because it's thin. And really all I have left is that top, and there are some little Smyrnas that are going to go in there. A specialty stitch of some kind. I'll have to look and double check. And there are little buttons that go in. This is one that needs to be sitting in my 25/7, probably needs to be the first project, and it just needs to get done because there is not that much left to go on it. I'm using all the called for colors. It's such a cute one. So I will put it down here. Then I have Alphabet Garden by Nikki's Creations. I started this one in 2022, and I think I did the Z in the basket. And then in the last couple of years, that's all I've gotten on it, which is just crazy. It stitches really quickly. My fabric is 32 count Butter Crunch from Needle Bling Designs. I don't think you'll get all of the gorgeousness in this. Looks like this. And this one, I'm not going to move it into the 25/7 yet, but I am going to try and pick it up this year. And that was the plan Katie and I had, was that we were going to try and work on everything in that collection that we have from New Year's Eve and New Year's Day and see if we can make some progress. And if I move it along some, maybe I will move it over after some other ones hop out of that bag. Next, I have Peace Band Sampler by Heartstring Samplery. If you ever buy one of her charts, you really should take the time to sit and read the inspiration. She really thinks through her designs and what she's doing with them. I am stitching this on a piece of Galleria limited edition Pearl from Needle Bling Designs. This is a 28 count. It is a really pale pinkish, and I'm using flosses from Color and Cotton. I haven't even gotten them all out yet, but I just found some pinks that I liked and I've pulled them out. I've ordered extras to make sure that I will have enough. These are some more that I found. I even have a little purple in there. I'm going to just tuck some things in as I go along and see what works with this. And I have this in a Love You More sleeve that I feel like just makes me think, you know, Peace Band. So this one is just fun to work on. I love her band samplers like this. She has a whole series of song lyric samplers that are just beautiful. Then a fun one. I have Witch from Lottie Da. And this one I am stitching on a piece of Bestitch Me linen. It doesn't say the color name. So I'm thinking maybe I got this in a Friday night fight night. And it is just gorgeous. Look at this. It will fit down here. I will have a big, pretty piece for something else. It is gorgeous, gorgeous linen. But for now, I am down here in the corner. And I went across that bottom to get just the box done. And I put the mice on top so I would know where they were. And I believe this is her shoe heel. Just like one little stitch of it, so I would know where it was for placement too. Since I was already going along and counting, I thought I might as well just pop those in there. So the next set that I have for you encompasses some of my medium projects. The first one I have is Deck the Halls from the Drawn Thread, and this is where I am on it. I love this. It's so pretty. And it's on a piece of 28 count helix from Picture This Plus. I tend to stitch my Christmas projects in December. I like to do seasonal stitching. Then next up I have from Modern Folk Embroidery, How Doth the Little Busy Bee, a beekeeper's pincushion. Mine may end up being a little big for a pincushion, but it's so fun. Just a single color design. I'm stitching mine on a piece of 28 count spice from Picture This Plus. I would have to look and see what floss I'm using. It is Weeks Dye Works, and the floss is right over the name. Straw, which has just come out to be really pretty on this. And this is as far as I have gotten. So that's about how wide it will be. I like how it looks on here. There's always so much movement in Picture This Plus fabric. Next up is Aspen Mandala by Ink Circles. I really want to do this too. And this may be one that I end up buying as a PDF, just so that I can mark it off as I go along more easily. I put this clip up here so I would know where the top was, but I started right in the center. This is a scrap piece of fabric from my stash. It's not going to be a very big piece, kind of a cool one. But again, the just thinking about doing that, I think I would do much better if I had it on Pattern Keeper and could mark it off as I go along. Hey, that was 36 count pimento linen. I just saw that on there. The next one, let's see if I have it on here. There we go. Is Sweet Spring by Satsuma Street. And she did it on a teal linen. But of course, I'm a purple girl. So mine is on 28 count flapper from Picture This Plus. That's how far I am. This one I think needs to be on my 25/7. I don't feel like it would take that long to get this one finished. And I love this. I would just really like to have it done and framed or pillowed or whatever, displayed. Then I have from the August 1996 issue of Cross Stitch and Needlework. You can see I paid 49 cents for this magazine. We found it at a little shop that carries some older ones. But this is the 1805 sampler. So here's the original sampler up here. This is the conversion. And I am doing mine in red. Just because, why not? That's how far I am. This is another one I feel like needs to be pushed into my 25/7 just because it's rows and rows of letters and it just doesn't take that long to get that done. So I think that if I put it over there, it will get finished that way. My bag's getting kind of full. The next one that I have, I am going to restart. I started this and I'm not liking the fabric that I chose. It's not feeling nice. It's not looking nice. This one was a free chart. I was trying to see, well, it was a chart with a donation during the wildfires in Australia. And it came from Hands Across the Sea. Yeah, I don't have it on my device here, but I'll let you see. This is why I think I'm going to restart. You can't see the pink. I was using the called for colors, but it just is not working really well on here. And this is as big as it is. That's as much as I have done. I just am not thinking that it's working very well. So that one will get changed out. Next, I have Tribal Hippo from White Willow Stitching. I started this one when the baby hippo was born at the Cincinnati Zoo, and I am stitching this on a piece of Tempest linen from Picture This Plus. Love that one. And I feel like the fun fabric went with this, especially since I'm just using the one color of floss. And what I'm using, excuse me, is Deep Sea from Weeks Dye Works. Just made um, a pretty project to work on. Fun for me. Ow. Then I have from Blackbird Designs. I started this several years ago for Halloween stitching, and it's from the Sisters folio. I'm doing at First Cock's Crow. I'm doing it on 32 count creek bed brown from R&R Reproductions. Here's a bigger photo of it. And it's funny, the year that I started it, I only had like one color. So I only stitched in that color, but I've added the rest. I'm just stitching, I'm using colors as charted. Their borders are always fun. I think that must be part of what draws them in to do certain samplers. I dropped that book, so I'm just going to set this one aside for a minute. Then, my birthday is July 3rd. I love me some Americana stitching. I have My Heart Beats True from Waxing Moon Designs. And down here it says for the red, white, and blue. And this one is so pretty. I'm stitching this on a piece of linen from Picture This Plus. Oh my goodness. I always think that this looks patriotic. Other people have said they feel like it looks like purple and blue, but I always feel like it's a patriotic linen. This is 32 count. I love it. So that bottom band just needs its back stitching on it on both sides. And I need to get in and do this. For a while, I did this that I put in a length of floss every day. And that really helped me move it along and make some good progress on it. So we'll see what I do. I may do something in July where I just pull things out and work on them, but July is my birthday month. So I'm a little precious with what I stitch during July. Next, I have United We Stand by Teresa Kogut. Let me go back here. Really, you just get this. I can hold it back far enough though. It's very cute. I love this. And I bought some sulkies to stitch this with. And I have fabric from Fabric Flare. And this is what I have done. I definitely need to pull this out and get going. I'm almost done with that red skirt. It would be fun to have this one finished and hanging on the wall. Next, from Little House Needleworks, I have Battle Hymn of the Republic. I really like this one. I like that they just changed the color of a couple of the words in here. It's a fairly simple border. I'm using that same fabric from Picture This Plus. How pretty that is. This one probably needs to stay out because I need to get through that. And it's a lot of lettering. Lettering goes pretty quickly. So we'll put him over here. Next up is Jumping Cat from Dames of the Needle. Is that the craziest cat you have ever seen? I just love that. And I got held up on it. And I finally figured out that what my problem was that I had started on the wrong thread. So I just moved up and the cat is started on the correct thread, so he should go quickly. But I pushed through and finished off all of those pumpkins. Don't they look fabulous? I did change out some of the colors and used just some overdyed oranges that I had gotten that I thought would be pretty pretty. And I've started the outline of the cat. So when October comes around, I should see quite a bit of progress on this one. He's one that I would like to focus on and get that silly kitty done. Get that grinning guy up on the wall. Okay, so my next project is Flower Boxes by the Drawn Thread. And this one is all done in Gloriana silk, so I kitted it up instead in um, cotton flosses, overdyed cotton flosses. And I've got my L at the bottom. And of course, mine will have an L at the top also. But I started in the center to make sure I got it placed just correctly, and then worked my way down to the bottom. This one's really just beautiful and delicate, something that is a feel-good stitch for me. Um, I just really enjoy it. My next one is from Hello from Liz Matthews. It's First Day of Christmas Sampler and Tree. So I started this series, and the linen color I chose is somewhere in between these two. So I'm doing kind of a mix of colors to get what I want. And this is where I am. Not sure how many of these I will be stitching. And I thought I would finish this just as a sampler. I don't know, I may end up changing my mind and finishing it as a tree. We'll see. We'll see what happens as I go along. But that's where that one is. I have a pretty good start on it. It's one that I used for 12 days of stitching with the Black Needle Society. And I will probably pull it out again. I didn't do 12 projects this past year. I focused on 3 or 4 projects and was hoping to see some finishes on some things. My next one, oh, let me find this, is on Pattern Keeper, and it is called Forest by Satsuma Street. I make it a little bigger so you don't see. I love this one from the minute I saw it. I just think it's so fun. And I do not have a big start on it. Whoops. I do not have a big start on it. I have just the center tree, and he's not quite done. Getting closer. So that's one that needs to be pulled out and get some stitches in for sure. Then this one. Oh, I love this one. It's The Language of Love from the Drawn Thread. Looks like this. I sing, and one of the songs I did was called Love in Any Language. So this one really appealed to me. You start that song with just saying I love you in several different languages. This is kind of a fun one. The Picture This Plus fabric is actually called Colorscapes. And my family bought me Lauren, which is one of her orphans, and it's a Cashel 28, and that's what I'm stitching this on. It's a beautiful piece of fabric, and this is where I am. So I have that outside border set out all the way around, and I'm doing all the fill-in. Now, these little hearts, when I get closer, you can see they are all different specialty stitches. And then the lettering goes in over one. So there's quite a bit of work left in it, and I usually do it just a little bit at a time to try and give myself grace to be able to do it and make it be beautiful, because I love this one. Again, it's hearts, which is one of my preferred motifs. And next up, I have Friendship by Bright Needle. The road to the house of a friend is never long. And I thought it was really cute. This is an older one when they used a photograph. This is on a Silk Weaver solo, and I have most of that hill done across there. And it's another fun one to work on. But, it's a lot of back and forth, just the same color. would probably be really good if I would outline it so that I could just fill it in while I was on a chat. Now, silly ones. I do like some tired eyes projects. So the one that I have is Uber egg. That egg's not big, it's Uber from Bent Creek. And I'm stitching mine on a 10 count Tula from Picture This Plus. She doesn't do these anymore, but look at this color. And I'm using all pearl cottons. So I've converted a little um, so that I'm using some overdyed pearls. It is just a fun one. Um, it is an easy tired eyes project, just a fun, silly band sampler. I was trying to think, some of these maybe all of them are. Oh, they're the DMC colors, the Coloris in pearl cottons. So they are just, let's see if I can get hold of the corner. They are just a fun set of colors. And I just went and looked and did a conversion to make it fun, just tried to kind of match up what color she was going for in that section. The next one I have is Quaker Crow from the Work Basket. This one is fun to work on. It just takes me a while. And this one is on a piece of linen that Susan from Keepsakes dyed. Look at that. So my crow will kind of end up over here mostly, but I am going to try and keep this whole piece of fabric. I was thinking I might turn this into a project bag, a vertical project bag. It's it's just such a cool piece of fabric, and I would like for all of it to really show. And on that one, I'm using Sullivan's black floss. I had a couple of projects that year that were all done in black, and I was trying to just see which one I kind of liked the best. I really like the Sullivan's. It covers really, really well. My next project is Green Tree from Carriage House Samplings. This is another one that Jeff spilled on, but I don't think that it will affect it. It's up here where you can see it. And that's all that I have so far. So it will not really show up and affect anything. That's right in the middle. But there is that one. And I am doing my own conversion with Vicky Clayton silk or with Dinky dyes. Just some things that I had that I thought would be pretty to work with. Next is Sam Sierra's Spring Flower Sampler. This is another one he got. And I'm trying to look at this. I started right in the middle. So it goes this way. And I evidently had an oops because I have frogged some of that. But I will get back to that one. I like the fun fabric. I like the fun floss. That should be a good one to get in and get finished up. Then I have Rose Air Blooming by Summerhouse Stitchworks. This is one that I worked on for the 12 days of stitching. I love this. This is my favorite Christmas song. And it's Lo, how a rose are blooming, but this is the second verse. I have all of that border done. I've started filling in the inside. I'm kind of saving the house for last. Okay, then I have one that's going to go in my 25/7. This is May's Lily of the Valley from the My Garden Journal series from College Garden Samplings. And I finished January through April, and then I stalled out on May. I'm really far through this. I don't have that much to do. I have the lettering, which won't take that long, and just a little more border and flowers. I have the rest of the series in here so that I can pull this out and finish it up and get these things done. So this one I will put over here. That bag's too full. Next up is Dreaming Girl by Barbara Anna Designs. I fell in love with this like so many of us did and pulled it out. Found this piece of fabric that just showed up in my fabric drawer and then found out that it was actually Katie's and she was saving it to give away. But that's how far I am. I still have quite a bit to do on this one. That cute little needle minder is from Dusty, who did the needle minders for the Nice List box this past year. But she gave these out at camp, at our in-person Camp Black Needle retreat. Love that. So cute. Eventually, this one will go in my 25/7 bag, but I think it's getting too full for right now. So I will not put it in there. I'll just leave it instead in here. Something that you should know, I'm gonna fix this one real quick. If you are using vinyl front project bags, you need to make sure that you put something between your paper pattern and the vinyl because it will stick. I usually put the bag that the pattern came in or that the fabric came in just as a barrier between them. Then one that I started for Keisha's birthday is P's and Q's by the Cricket Collection. I chose it because it's green and purple. Those are our two favorite colors. I thought it would tickle her, mind your P's and Q's, and then it has P's all over it. What she told me is that peas are one of the very few things that she does not like. So it tickles her even more that that's what I chose. And I have the outside border done, the first part of it anyway. And I am just starting to fill in some different spots. It was just so cute. I can't wait to get back to this one. This is probably a great summer stitching project. One that I really love, I'd love to spend some time with. So then I'm going to pull these forward. From Plum Street Samplers, I have Cinnamon Stars, another one that's captured so many of us. And I have mine. I don't know if I have my fabric listed in here. I don't, but again, when I work on this, you will be able to see it in the drop down. But that's how, let's do this side. That's how far I am. That's pretty fun. So now I have like all the fun stuff. I've done this and I just need to do all of the stars and the flowers around it. That may be a sampler September pull, and that could be one that I get some work on and get it finished up. I have that in a Winnie the Pooh bag from Project Bags and More by Judy. The next one I have is Quatrefoil by Lisa Steele. Now, I used to be on a chat group and Lisa was on there, and this is one that she gave us the opportunity to buy ahead of time just to kind of launch her. You can see I got number 51 out of 250. And I chose a beautiful piece of linen to put this on. I have done one, not even one whole part of it. And I am thinking that I don't see this thing getting done. So my thought is that I need to finish off um the rest of the inside of this one and maybe turn it into a biscornu. But it needs to just work its way out of my stash and not be one that I'm worrying about spending a lot of time on. Yeah. Here is Judy's card. I thought I had it on this one. You can join her Facebook group. If she has a question, you can say that you saw it on my WIP Parade, and that's how you know about it. But Judy puts out beautiful, beautiful bags. She does all sorts of designs and things. This is what that last one is in, and look at the inside. So pretty. And her newer bags, she's started including a little pocket that you can have a card in with the title of your piece. Okay, then I have Winter Samplers by Prairie Schooler. I love these. I am working on this one, and I have a piece of Silk Weaver. It's just a solo. This is how big this piece will be. My quarter yard of fabric was big enough for all three samplers. So that is it. Okay, I'm set up with another set. So let's start off with Lizzie Kate's Very Scary. This came out in 3 parts. This is part 3, so you can see the whole thing. I am stitching this on something from my stash, and I have gotten down into part 2. This is one that probably needs to be in October 25/7 just to get done. How? Because you can see I'm down here. So I just have that bottom to go and the rest of the border. Now I'm thinking that some of that border may need to be filled in. I think it's filled in with satin stitches, but this one is fun to work on and just needs to come out and get finished up. October, that'll be the time, sometime in the fall. I may have to choose, maybe next year I'll have to choose projects to work on the 13th and 31st of every month. Now, this old one is called No Idleness. Um, this designer, unfortunately, is no longer living. We got this piece at a retreat, and this is as far as I ever got. This is probably from the 90s or early 2000s. And it's one that I struggle with. I don't want to do the wool pieces for sure. I have both parts of this alphabet. What I may do is put her little verse on top of it, but stretch this out so that it'll be on top, it'll be more centered. And I may stop there and not even do the bottom. Um, it just is not one that I pick up to work on. It's never one that I reach for. The same with this one, Keslin's Zephyr. Now, I killed myself. I chose 40 count opalescent from Picture This Plus, and it's 40 count Crystal Highland, which is gorgeous. That's as far as I've ever gotten on this. I was trying to see, they called for silks to do this, and I instead chose I chose a couple of um cotton flosses. Oh, Carrie silks, olives, and bullfrog. And this is one that, if you thought you wanted to stitch this, I would send this one to you. So you say the word Zephyr, Zephyr, and I would give this one away. I'll even send you those two Carrie silks, which are just beautiful. You would have more than enough. I was stitching one strand over two fabric threads on that fabric. Next, I have the Black Pearl by the Primitive Hare. And this is one that I started on the other half of that piece of 28 count Tempest. She is this far. I have done all of this work. I don't enjoy her at all, at all, at all. And I was even putting some italics down in. I used her to meet a couple of goals in a challenge group and change some things. And I don't know that I even see this one hanging in the house. So I don't know that that one will really get finished. It may just get set aside and unkitted and just be done. It may just be done. Then I have to turn this back on. Also from the Primitive Hare. Let me see if I can find it. Sorry for the delay. Oh, I'm just not seeing this. There it is. It's called Halloween This Way. The fabric for this, let me find the bottom, is 30 count big, and that's important. It does have to be big, dark spell linen by the Primitive Hare. So if you get the one that she calls for, this is what the linen looks like. This is actually Katie's. I had not started mine, and I ended up pulling out what she had done, and I've restarted it to make sure that it will all fit in there and be in the center of this thing. It's a fun one. I like it. It's one that I will keep working on and I will finish it. Then from the Primitive Needle, who is also a designer who's no longer with us, um, this is Ichabod Seabury. And it says, "Here lies ye body of Mr. Ichabod Seabury, died October ye 30th, 1788. Reader, death is a debt to nature due, as I have paid, so must you." And I am doing this on a piece of Picture This Plus Swamp. It called for silks. I did not use the silks, but I chose colors that are pretty similar. So I tend to do a word in white and then go back and outline it. And I have moved this along as I've gone along. It must be a 36 or 40 count because I'm using one strand on this. But this one is just, I look forward to pulling this one out every year. So I will eventually get it finished. I think I said Halloween's not quite my jam anymore. I would much rather be stitching flowers and Christmas. This one is called Samplers from the Scarlet House. When Keisha had James, she said, stitch on a piece with a sheep, and I know that there is an alternate in here. It's trying to see where they showed that. Oh, right down here where these guys are, you can take out the middle one and turn it into a sheep. So that's what mine will be. But James will be 4 this year in July. That's what I have done. I think that I need to stop for a little while on the border and start putting in some of those fun things. And then I can do maybe part of the border and part of the center and move it a little bit better. My next one is Flowers of Rose Hall by Rosewood Manor. I love this one. And I had this piece of, I believe it's a 28 count linen in my stash. It's from Silk Weaver. It's only this wide. So I had to start right in the center. Now, what I don't like about this is that I'm using the floss that she called for. Oh, my brain is the Valdani silks. And it wants you to use all 3 strands. It's really thick. It's really kind of hard for me to get it pulled through there. I don't enjoy that. I'm really seriously considering pulling all of that out. It's not all that much, and restarting and separating that and only using 1 strand at a time. I think it would give more of a delicate look, which I would like on this fabric, and it would make me way more sane. And I happen to have 2 sets of this silk because one of my friends gave me her leftovers because she didn't enjoy stitching with 3 strands either and separated them and only used 1. Next, I have from Heartstring Samplery, Really Friends. This is the Catherine Moreland sampler. This is one that was in a Black Needle Society box. It was the Jane Austen box. And it's so pretty. And it's called for on tea set linen, which I ended up getting. And I have the called for flosses, and I have that little corner start. This one is so pretty, and I cannot wait to get back to this and do some more work on it. It's one I really enjoy, very, very pretty one. So I have this one in a bag from the 805 Stitcher. Isn't that cute? Next, I have Hearts and Flowers, the Violet sampler from the Drawn Thread. See, a lot of these that I have are older patterns. This one I believe is out of print. And I am stitching this. It called for 32 count lavender mist linen by Witchelt. I bought this from someone else and I started this and I am this far. Now, this one makes me nuts. It's, I mean, I just need to work on it and do the thing, but I don't know if you can see, there are lazy daisies in like a chain stitch in the center of this. So I have this side done all the way down. I have not gotten this side in. Really, once you get the borders in, it's a bunch of lettering, which should not take a big long time. It's just been a matter of getting myself to sit down and work on that and do that. At this point, I'm still hanging on to it because purple's my favorite color, if you don't know that. And um, I really would like to see this finished and get it up on the wall. It would definitely be an accomplishment to get this one done. Then I have from Shakespeare's Peddler, Purple Martin Apiary, which I absolutely love. However, I started this on a piece of 32 count purple smoke linen, which is really, really dark. Maybe I was still an in-hand stitcher when I started it. Mine is not what she was calling for, but I just loved this piece of linen. And I thought, how fun would that be to put that on there? I haven't gone back and worked on it again. However, I want to work on it. So I will keep this one and give it a try with my hoop and see if that helps. My hoop and my light, I'll sit under my light and see if that helps getting some things done. Then I have Copy Quaker from Heartstring Samplery. I know we've all seen this. It's such a fun one. I'm not using the called for flosses. I'm just using a bunch of flosses from my stash. And I was trying to look and see. My fabric is, it just says vintage 28. Oh, how about this? So I don't know. Erica, can you tell? Is this vintage country mocha? It's vintage anyway. And I like the colors that I picked. I have fun working on this. I did for a while have this at school, and it's what I was working on there as my project. And I was really enjoying that, was getting quite a bit in, and I thought, oh, I'll take it home and keep working on it. And I didn't keep working on it. Then my last one in this group is Repeat the Sounding Joy by Kathy Barrick. I think it's so pretty, and my family bought me all the silks. Look at the colors. My water is green. This is the thing that I don't like about these silks. They're not consistent. But I have all of the things. I have all of the silks. I think I will keep going. I'm certainly not going to rip out all of those itty bitty stitches. And that's just not a thing I'm going to do. I'm doing this on a piece of 40 count Seraphim fabrics in the colorway Finnan. So no, I'm not ripping out 40 count stitches, but I just need to get past the water and get onto that huge black swan that will take me forever. It has gotten late enough in the day that I'm starting to get from my western exposure over here, starting to get some of the evening sun, but we're going to push on with this. The next one I have is June Morning by the Good Housewife. And this one I have on a piece, it must be an orphan from Picture This Plus. It is a 32 count. I've gotten this far. Look at that purple. Oh my goodness. So I love this. Such a cool one. Um, I just don't think about pulling it out. I've got to do that because I love it. We're into some of my bigger projects now. So you will see a trend. The next one that I have is called the Toys and Games Stocking. And it looks like this. And this one I sent in a round robin. And they did so much work on this, moved it so far along for me. I I had some decisions to make it about this one, but I think I have a plan for it now. And I would like to get it finished so that it can be put to use and on display at Christmas time. I don't think it'll get done for this year. There's always way more stitching in there than you think. And these stockings from the Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazines use 3 strands of floss for the cross stitch. So it's just crazy. The next one I have is a Nora Corbett. I've made a copy from the magazine. And this is the Halloween fairy, even though she says trick or treat. I am stitching mine on a Silk Weaver solo, and oh my gosh, you guys, look at this. So I love this. I think it's gorgeous. I will have some decisions to make because obviously I cannot put orange pumpkins on here. I've talked about teal pumpkins, white pumpkins. I'll see what will work. Because there's not a lot of color in it, I think I can do whatever I would like. Look at that cute owl. There are a lot of beads in this. This is one that I get kind of hung up on because I go to work on something and it's not really stitching, it's actually beads. Oops, I'm pulling the next project off with it. The next one that I have is Morning Song by Lavender and Lace. I sent this one in a round robin, and they did so much work for me. I need to pull this out as a fancy lady and work on her. So mostly it's that background. I love her. And she is stitched on a 32 count, maybe a 28 count apple blossom linen from Witchelt. That is one of my favorite neutral colors. Um, it just, it always looks so nice with whatever you put on it. It's kind of a good pinkish neutral. So I know that sounds weird, a pinkish neutral. The next one I have is the Celtic Band sampler from Homespun Sampler. And I love this one. I think I'm using everything that's called for. This fabric is from Silk Weaver. It's a solo. Love those. I just need to get back to work on things. Do I say that about everything? Have you guys been counting? How many times have I said it? Is anybody keeping track of how many projects I have? Because I have not double checked these against my spreadsheet to make sure that I'm up to date. Excuse my cough. I work as a para during the school year, and one of my little lovelies left me with an illness right at the end of the school year, and it's morphed into this respiratory thing. Next, I have the Toy Gatherer from Shepherd's Bush. I really like this one. Um, everything is from a kit. My problem is that every time I pick it up to start to stitch, you'll see there are holes. Those are beads. And that's I keep trying to get to that, and I need to just get past it and keep stitching and get him finished because he's fabulous. I'd love to have him up on my wall. Then I have Another Year Creeps By Ink Circles. This was originally released as a stitch along, and you got one block every month. I'm stitching mine on 32 count Wisteria Belfast from Color and Cotton, and I only have part of the border. I really want to work on this one. I love it. I have this in a bag from Penny and Tunny. I actually bought this from Katie, and Katie really just prefers vinyl front bags. So I bought her another one, and I kept this one, but look how cute. I love the witch's feet and the big old pumpkins. Then I have from Papillon Creations, Cotillon. And this one I did up, I'm stitching on 32 count Twilight Belfast from Picture This Plus, and I am using a conversion of Vicky Clayton silks. And I have never gotten very far, but I don't know that I've stitched this on a hoop yet. So there it is. I still would like to do this one. It still appeals to me. It looks fun. It is, I was trying to see if I could find, it's from 2008. It's only a couple of years old. It's not 20 yet. So maybe that's a goal. It needs to be finished by 2028. That's not that far off. And then I have Nevermore from Leela Studio. I love this one so much. And I am stitching it on a piece of feldspar from Picture This Plus. I love how the colors are showing up. And I had made it to this next band. I'm excited to see how that comes up and what it looks like. This one I have in another Project Bags and More by Judy. Judy's Project Bags and More. Look at this. So cool. And then Rosewood Manor, green on green. I love this thing. And I am stitching this with Carrie's Creation silks. It is just a limited edition silk. And I have way entirely overestimated how much I needed. It doesn't matter. I love her floss. I wish she were still dying. And it's just on a piece of it's Witchelt linen. You can see through it. But I love how this is coming up. You can see if I will hold this over here. I am getting close to doing that big motif. And I just have a few more to go, and then I'll be on to lettering. I love seeing how these come out. We are into my great big projects for sure, and I just love them. Another one that doesn't have much of a start is Garden Fair by the Courtney Collection. I'm not sure if I started at the top or the bottom. It doesn't matter. I think I actually started at the top. It's on a piece of natural linen, and I'm using called for colors. Love this. I think I'm using called for colors. Let's peek. Oh, nope, I'm using Carrie's and I've substituted colors in there. But that's why I loved her floss. Look at how beautiful that is. Then I have from Mirabilia, Shakespeare's Fairies. Yes. And I have a piece of Fiber on a Whim. This is sand, and the year that I started this, sand was coming out this greenish color. I just thought it was so pretty. That little center start is all I have. I started this at camp a couple of years ago at the Black Needle Society in-person retreat in August. And I did buy the embellishment pack. So I have all of those things. So I will be ready to go. And because this table mates with Kevin and Erica that year, I have some notes. This one is in a Sheba Designs bag. Oops. She likes Tula Pink like we do. And her inside is this cute orange polka dot. Okay. Then I have this one. This is called Blue Moon Angel from Lavender and Lace. She goes kind of this way. Sorry, I could not make her work. And I am using a piece of silk weaver fabric. I think this is one that I would like to work out and get on Pattern Keeper. I started right in the center. I love how the colors are looking on this. I think it's going to be really cool. I think I would benefit a lot from Pattern Keeper with this one. It just would help me stay on track and make sure that I actually make some progress. That's another fancy lady I could pull out. Then I was part of the original Loose Feathers group from Blackbird Designs. And in this one year, I'm trying to see if it says 2008, they did a mystery. Oh, it says it right there. 2008 mystery bonus sampler. And I know they have since re-released this. Originally, it was charted to be stitched on 5 different pieces of fabric. I chose one big piece of fabric. It is R&R Reproductions KC Blend 35 count. And I have gotten this far. This is one that needs to just move into my WIPs, and I need to just work on this until it is done because, oh, is it pretty. And every time I pull it out, I love it. I just need to keep going and get it done. Then next up from Rosewood Manor, I have 2Bs and ABCs. And originally, when I filmed with my sister, we started this as a stitch along, and I don't think either of us got very far. I'm stitching mine on 32 count quartz from Picture This Plus. That's where mine is. Now, a big hint, something that really helped. Our friend Sue was stitching this one, and she did guide stitches down both sides and down the center. And as soon as I put those in, it really helped because this piece has motifs that will be like in the center. It'll be easier if you know where the center is to start. I'm trying to decide if I am doing the whole thing or if I am eliminating this section and moving this up and leaving off the numbers or putting them down below it. I still think it's a gorgeous piece. I just am not sure that I want to do the entire thing. So that's where I am on that. If you guys have thoughts about these, let me know. Then I have Halloween from Alessandra Adelaide. And this one would really benefit from me putting it in Pattern Keeper because trying to keep track of all of these crazy, crazy spider web pieces is just nuts. And this is 32 count French lilac from Picture This Plus. I love this. Can't wait to get up there and get the other color in. It's only 2 colors. And I am using Planet Earth silks. And I have, for the white, I'm using Smoke. No, sorry, Vapor. And you saw how white it comes up. And then this one is Smolder. That will be my orange. So I think that will be really gorgeous on here. I can't wait to get there. I am just I get stuck in the spider web, so getting that on Pattern Keeper would help me out a bunch. Jennifer, we need to talk. Then from Stickydeen von der Wienberg, I have Rose Quaker. This is one that I bought online, and so you can see I printed it out. You don't get a color picture. The fun thing on theirs is that on the last page, and I don't know if I can find it quickly. Yes. On the last page, they give you this, and it tells you what every single motif is going to be in. I tried putting this in Pattern Keeper and it does not read correctly. I am stitching this on 36 count Milk and Honey from Fiber on a Whim. And so far, this is what I have. So I would love to get back to this because yes, 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 yes. These are always such pretty pieces. I like Quaker samplers a lot. And this I have in an 805 stitcher bag. More cats, because why not? And inside, more cats. Then this one is staying out for this month. It's part of my June plans. It's One Nation by Bygone Stitches. I am nowhere on this one. I did put a clip so that I would know what the top was. And that's where I am. It will be this big. I have a piece of 36 count raw Edinburgh linen. Really pretty. And I'm hoping to get in several hours on this and see if I can at least finish up the back of the stars field, if I can get all the way around it. And then hopefully get some things set up and get started on some stripes. I know a lot of people have done like one state and one star and gone through and done it. We'll see what I plan and how it works out. But I really love this one and can't wait to see more progress on it. From Modern Folk Embroidery, I have Quaker Sampler, A Secret Sky. This is love, to fly toward a secret sky, to cause 100 veils to fall each moment. I just thought that was beautiful. And I am using just a piece of white linen, and I found some silken colors, thread gatherer silken colors. I have two colors, Monsoon Sky and Lavender Blues. They're very similar. One has just a little more purple in it. And this is what I have so far on it. This one, I believe I could go back and buy from him as a PDF, and that may be a good way to go because then I could put it in Pattern Keeper and go from there. There's a piece of paper down there. It's a white 36 count linen. I like my 36 count for these things because then I can stitch one strand over two threads and it'll cut it down a little bit size wise. Now, one that just needs some love is the 2017 Linen and Threads Mystery Sampler. This is part 12, just to show you the whole thing. They only did the bottom band, the current month's band dark. This is the band I think I'm leaving off. I actually think mine will end here. I don't mind that. It ends the same way that it started. Um, I just don't feel like I need this at the bottom. And especially, wait until you see this. I am using a bunch of my Victorian Motto flosses and I just have I've kept the borders the same, but I've just kind of been going along and filling in where I think I like the colors. I've been using these colors and then just adding some others to complement it as I go along. I'm on August. Still love this one. This is in a bag that I requested from Judy. I just told her that I would like a purple bag. And by the time I made it to the event, she said she could have sold this bag many times over. So this is what she chose for a purple bag for me. And look at the inside. I love this. This is one of her earlier styles when she was first starting out. But this fabric is just gorgeous. Love that. I have next up. This one is called Motif Musings by T.A. Smith Designs. Now, here's the whole piece. The fun thing is that my sister Nancy is the one who actually got to name it. And because her name was chosen as the winning name, she got the pattern free. And she thought this looked like something I would like to stitch. Now, I am stitching this. Let's see if I have paperwork in here. I want to say that this is on a 36 count linen. I can't, I don't even know that I can get it in frame. There's how big it is. And I've left like about a 3-inch border around it, but still, this is it. I will be working on this for a while. I'm using a or a, oh my goodness, I went brain dead. Not like I've been talking about a bunch of things. Oh, I'm using a floss by Threadworks for this. I did change some letters around so that the L, the K, and the B would be together. Laura Katie Bree. And that will be fun to keep going on. It's one I enjoy stitching on. So really, it did say, it's really cute. It did say hair, but I had already put the B in, so I moved things over to get our letters over there. This one is in another Judy bag. You cannot tell that purple is my favorite color. Then I adopted this from my friend Deanna, Teresa Winsler's Fruit Bell Pull. And I pulled this out a couple of years ago when I was doing my Touch All the Whips. She did the 3 completed squares and even part of this 4th one, and I have put in a few hours on it. And she changed it up a little bit. She felt like this was kind of redundant to have the same color again. So instead of having 6, it'll have 5. And I just adopted this from her and have loved having this. I have a sweet note from her. I keep my notes. If you send me something, I keep the note with it. I like that, so. But she sent me the whole thing, all the supplies, everything to go on it. And then I also um have in here, don't know if I will ever do this, the floral bell pull. Isn't that gorgeous? So fun. Then a gift from my family. I fell in love with this. Glory in the Morning by Cross Wing Collection. And that fabric is specially dyed for this. So they bought me the fabric. This is another fun one. There it finally is. My problem with this one is that the way they printed the pattern, they printed it this way with a split. I'm showing you one page with a split in the middle. So I've taken my pages and taped them together. I don't know why they didn't print them horizontally because there's no overlap. You have to make it work out and see how that's going. I don't know if this is one that I could buy as a PDF. I would definitely buy this again as a PDF because I've gotten nowhere on this. There's a lot of back stitching. Look at the little over one B. He's so cute. I did finish the bottom page. I love how that's looking. So, okay, that's all for that group. So I'm going to pause again and pull out what will probably be the last set of projects. Okay, my last group are some winter and Christmas projects. The first one I have is Deck the Halls from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I'm going to hold this back here. You guys have all seen this. And this is where I am. I've only done the bottom on this one. So that one definitely needs some love so that I get some progress made on it. I love the fabric. Katie and I are actually both stitching this, and our fabric looks a little different. Then I have Early Christmas Morning by Blackbird Designs. I've done the top and I need to do this. So I'll show you the top. And I'm doing this on 36 count Stars Hollow blend from R&R. And that's what the top looks like. Such a pretty piece. I changed the date to my initials. I just thought I would prefer that to having a date on it. And then I have Beggar's Christmas from Threadwork Primitives. Beggar is this crow. They've done a whole series of these. They're so fun. I, crazily enough, decided to do 40 count linen. Really tight. Picture this plus. It hasn't been too bad since I've gotten it on a hoop and have been stitching it. Hopefully I will get all the way through that. I'm excited to get to that bird. I love to stitch crows and blackbirds. Blackbirds are a sign of creativity. My next one is from Rosewood Manor and it's Reindeer Dreams. I love this. To dance with the moon, you need only become friendly with the dreams of a reindeer. So I love that border all the way around. This will take me forever. That's fine. This one is Arctic Glacier 32 count by Seraphim Fabrics. And I started at the bottom. So yes, they go upside down. It's a fun one to work on. And I put it in this book sleeve from Love You More. I love this fabric. I thought that went really well with it. Then I have Rack Stack from Plum Street Samplers. She called for 36 count Mermaid's Brew, which is, I was trying to see whose fabric it is, but I found this in my stash. I think I picked it up at a garage sale actually because it has a little tag on it that just says 30 count. So it's a fun one. I haven't done much on it. Now, this is a Fancy Pants book sleeve that Katie requested. She chose this fabric, which is beautiful. Love it. Look at all that shimmer. And then for the inside, what she talked me into is this gold lame. I will never do this for book sleeves again. It shreds. It is horrid, but it looks gorgeous, right? So we baby it. We just totally appreciate it. Then I'm going to pull this whole stack over. My next one is from Country Cottage Needleworks, and it is Silent Night. I don't think Nancy watches my videos, but we had the best laugh we have ever had over this. And it just was, it was nothing about the pattern. It was just craziness by us. I'm stitching this on 32 count King's Blue Belfast. She wanted me to stitch it on red, and I said, Bloody Silent Night. So that was our laugh. It made us cackle all the way home. But I like my blue instead. Then I have from Heartstring Samplery, Hibernation Day. This was supposed to be my snow day project, and I have not pulled this out, but I love it. It's coming out really, really gorgeous. I don't know if I have a fabric name in here. Oh, I don't. This is a hand-dyed fabric, and I just don't have the tag with it. Oh, it's right on it. Sorry. It's from Seraphim Fabrics, and it's called Stonewashed. It's 28 count. And this is one that's as much as they had. So I started it right in the center and just made sure that it would fit on there. But I love it how it's looking, and it's just fun. And it's another fun picture with her with Beth's inspiration for the piece. Then I have from Blackbird Designs, Blackbird's Winter Delivery. This was also a Loose Feathers Club originally. I love that. It's so pretty. I have this piece of silk weaver linen that's a solo, and that's as far as I got. But I love this. It's a little more, yeah, it's a little more burgundy. I need to just get it pulled out and get it stitched so that I can work on that bird, because we know how I like the birds. My next one is from Blue Ribbon Designs. This one was also another complimentary one. Now I don't have a color picture, and I'm trying to not flash the pattern, but that's what it looks like. Stars over pines. I, excuse me, I actually ended up coloring the green with a highlighter so that I would know where it was. It was harder to see it. That's as far as I've gotten. I really would like to get that one done too. It looks like I have one more color to go in the center of the poinsettias. Then I have from Silver Creek Samplers. Oh, it's never on here. I think it's called My Christmas List. It's inside on the pattern. You've seen this one though. And I'm doing mine on a piece of fabric by a dyer who no longer dyes fabric. And it's kind of interesting. It's a purple with some yellow spots, but it fits all these colors. Oh, and Stephanie, if you're watching, baby Jesus doesn't even have features. So no, we can't say he's sleeping. Then that's it, actually. Other than Judy, if you're watching, this is what I think I'm planning to start at some point during the year. Christmas Parade by Cottage Garden Samplings. Look how cute that is. And I think I am doing this on Spearmint Medium from Color and Cotton. This was the February color of the month. And you guys tell me, don't you think that would be really cute on that spearmint fabric? So, did you have any favorites as I went through? Did I just totally overwhelm you? Are there things you need to know about? What projects are you going to pick up? What should I pick up first out of that 25/7 pile to finish? I may have to do a separate video and say, these are the ones I pulled to do for a 25/7 work through. Anyway, let me know what you liked and I will get this up. Hopefully, I've edited out all of the craziness and I'll get this out to you as soon as I can. Thanks. Bye.